Hi guys, it's Jazz. I'm here to do another reading and again I'm feeling compelled to focus on the masculines. You'll need to forgive me, I have a little bit of a vocal problem at the moment. My throat is a bit sore. Also just to begin with, if you would like a spiritual reading, I don't use tarot cards unless you want me to in those. I need photos generally, but if you don't want to use a photo, I don't need to. Photos make it better, but I mean, I did a reading today where I didn't even use the photo, and yeah, there's been a couple that so I'm getting it now, no longer needing the photos. If you'd like to check that out, I'm on Facebook, Spiritual Readings with Jasmine, and I'll have a website up and running soon as well. I do varied lengths of readings, minute-wise, and you can pay for a small one, see how you like it. And if you'd like an extended one, we could go up to as long as you like, and they start from under $20 AU, and and I can get I'm getting ancestry information, relationship information, life event information, personality, insight into your life path, helping with choices, spiritual advice, a little bit of counseling there or coaching. So yeah, excuse me, I have a bit of a sore throat. Okay, so let's get an update into how the masculines are going. And the reason why I'm focusing on the masculine is because I really feel like, a lot of pressure is put on the masculine, and I feel like, there's a lot of responsibility on both the feminine and the masculine, of course, but at this current stage in time, the masculines are really going through some severe transformations. Some of them are ready to leave the planet, and I feel like they really need a bit of encouragement at the moment. We've recently had a massive feministic surge in recent years, which I think is really pushing the limits, which is great, and it's really positive. But we really need to help these people. We need to help ourselves and each other grow in a positive way. So, I can almost not talk. I've got this huge lump in my throat. Anyway, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is the New Vision Tarot. We have the Seven of Pentacles here. Yeah, I feel like there's this beautiful womanly feminine figure in the sky here, and I feel like there's he's sort of stopped for the moment and is pondering, when you're doing something and sometimes you stop and you have a moment where you fade off a little bit, and it's like he's like, okay, I'm really feeling like something is, sorry, I just need to adjust this camera a little bit. Oh God. It's okay, everyone does this, so it doesn't matter. Well, not everyone, but I do. I'm an amateur with YouTube. Yeah, so there's this feminine figure that's been watching out for him, and when I talk about the feminine, this is what I wanted to mention as well. When I talk about the feminine and the masculine, I'm not necessarily talking about someone that's in your life currently. It can be someone who's been in life previously. It could be a previous life partner, past life partner, soulmate, karmic partner. Karmic partner, soulmate partner. I think there's a bit of a difference there. If you're interested in labels, then go for it. But what I'm talking about is a figure either here or probably generally, obviously, on this planet. So I'm not talking about people of past when I talk about these things. However, that doesn't mean to say that if you do have someone special to you that's passed, I'm not talking about them, but whatever resonates with you. And if you haven't met this special person of your life, please know that if you are open to them coming along, and you believe that this is possible, you will attract that into your life and they will come to you. So I really feel like this guy, you know, maybe he's been working a bit hard, had his head down, bum up, trying to get through things, and he hasn't really thought maybe he's not really aware that this person in his life is going to come along and help him out, you know, or maybe he's actually he's aware that there's some energy that he feels that's watching out for him and helping him right now, whether or not it's physically in the 3D or whether it's in the 5D. And so when I say 3D, I mean the third dimensional world. Me speaking to you is 3D. This situation is 3D situation. Then we have the fifth dimension. This is labels, however you want to look at it, where there's a spiritual aspect to this, and there's things that happen that go on: communication, telepathy, dreams, contact, energy exchanges that happen that we can't actually physically see or touch. So yeah, that's the first card. So I'd say, let me just clarify this. One card flew out. And the rest just got a bit jumbled. So, on our 2 cards. Okay, so I feel like, yeah, we've got the Queen of Swords and the 3 of Hearts. So, the 3 of Swords and the Queen of Swords. I feel like the masculine has been heartbroken by this person in the past because she's walked away. Queen of Swords gets to a point where she just doesn't put up with any shit. In fact, she doesn't put up with shit. She just gets out of there. She just cuts you off. There's only so much that the feminine or anyone can put up with, or that there should be only so much that someone puts up with, ideally. And there's been everyone's had some past heartbreak. We've all been there. And the Queen of Swords, you know, she's been cutting through the bullshit. So I really feel like maybe there's someone that he's forgotten about, or he thinks she's forgotten about him. But yeah, that's what I'm feeling at the moment. But it's not the case. She's still there. So I'd also like to mention, you know, there's this thing about twin flames, and obviously as I'm growing with my experience, oh, sorry, my cards are all shuffled these and they've all flipped over. So I talk about twin flames and soulmates and partners, and, you know, I don't actually believe, I mean, I'm not quite sure. With my experience, you know, I'm pretty sure I've come across several twin flames, if there's such a thing. So I'm not sure there's such a thing as twin flames. I think we're all here to help each other. I think that the obsession, the obsession with, it's a bit of a weird reading today, sorry guys, but oh well. The obsession with having a life partner or a twin flame, you know, can kind of distract us from meeting certain people. And if we get really obsessed with a certain person, we can then be closed off to meeting other people and creating new relationships and connections. I myself, just to give an update, have recently met a bunch of new, beautiful people. I've made some new friends, and it's made me realise that there are so many different people out there, and there are even people out there very like me. So I don't often meet people like myself, and meeting people like me has really helps me come into my own. So I'd just like to say to you all out there watching this, be open to meeting other people, be open to meeting anyone. If you're ready for it, you need to be ready, because you never know what's out there or who's out there. And, you know, this card did come out just before, and it's like when I was just shuffling or picked up my cards. We're all here to work hard, and if you're not here to work hard, then what are we doing here? You know, there's such a thing called ascension, and ascension means growth, and it means doing your work. And if you really expect to get anything in life without doing work, you're really going to have a hard slog during the duration of your lifetime. If you accept that it's going to be hard work and you're prepared to put in that hard work, and I mean spiritually, I mean emotionally, I mean psychologically, I mean in your whole experience, if you're going to commit completely to yourself and your experience, and also you're going to commit to being a good person to other people in your life who you feel are worthy and deserving of being in your life, then you're going to get everything you could have wanted and more. So that's just a little side message that came out there. I don't want those ones. I want these ones again. Oh, actually, no, these ones. Sorry, I've got so many decks, and sometimes, you know, some want to come out more than others. I also, just a reminder, I'm not going to say this in every one of my readings, but just as my channel grows, I don't read reversals normally, but if they do come out and I feel like they need to be read as reversals, I will. Okay, so we've just got the King of Wands and the King of Cups. So if this isn't a masculine reading, I don't know what is. And excuse me, I have a mint in my mouth. So, which is getting a bit annoying. So I'll just take it out. Okay, so I feel like there's action happening here and there's heart space action happening here. So there's physical action here. There's a lot of physical action happening here with the masculines, and a lot of heartfelt emotional happenings as well. Now, the King of Cups here, you know, he's tipping his cup into the ocean. I feel like some of these people, these guys are giving everything their everything. Maybe not giving everything their everything, but they're giving what they feel deserves heartfelt investment. They're giving those things everything because, and I actually do feel this is the feminine. The masculines, I'm just going to say it. The masculines that I've come into contact recently, they have the utmost respect for women. I've never really met people like this before in my life, and it's really helpful and hopeful to know that these guys exist, because, you know, these guys are the actual ones who take action. You know, these guys aren't afraid. They're actually afraid of nothing, and they have absolute intuition into the situation, and, you know, with life. There's a real the masculines are really freaking they're really developing, they're really evolving, and I'm actually blown away, because, you know, I thought all this stuff was very feminine, but these masculines, they've got a really beautiful feminine side. And the King of Cups here, he's obviously so ready or able to give as much as he possibly can and to take action. And I just, you know, and, you know, this King of Wands, you know, he's actually, this is the after tarot, so these are the images after the Rider-Waite images in the normal tarot, but this guy's actually taken his hand off his wand and he's just sat down for a little while, and he's just got this lizard on his hand here, a salamander it looks like, and it's like, I'm just going to pause for a moment and enjoy what I have in my hand right now. These guys are really in the moment, and they really don't care about consequences in terms of, you know, they're prepared to put themselves on the line to get hurt. These masculines are prepared to put everything into someone they care about, and even if there's multiple partners going on, or if there's multiple people that they have feelings for, or if there's just one person but they're open to other people, you know, like I've always said, you know, be open to something happening, and it might, you know, it may very well happen, and you may even get more than you expected. Yeah, so I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm rambling, but I'm sure it's making sense for a lot of you out there. If it doesn't, you know, just do whatever you like. But yeah, I know it will resonate with some of you. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope among the masculines and the feminines at the moment. I feel like even there are a lot of feminines out there who are losing hope, but I feel we all do. We all do at some point. As a collective, however, I really feel that there's definitely a lot of really good change happening, and the pendulum does swing. So I feel like, you know, the pendulum will swing more to the feminine side of things, like I said, with the rise of the femininity and the feminism. And now it's going to swing back to the masculine, because this is how we balance the scales, and this is how we level up. So it's like, you know, one and then the other, and then the one and then the other. And it's like, I do believe the feminines need to be leading, but initially the masculines have done a lot of work. You know, they're the people that went out and, I mean, it depends. It doesn't really matter. You know, the political shit doesn't matter. It's all about the psychological, the emotional, and the spiritual stuff going on. You know, and obviously the physical. We need to look after our physical bodies because, you know, our brains propel us. And if we don't do that, then we can't expect to get much. Wow, sorry. Wow. Okay, this is going to be a little story. So let me just lay out these cards. The way I read changes all the time. Sometimes I look at the card, sometimes I don't. Yeah, it just doesn't really matter, really. And I just intuitively seem to know which order the cards need to go in without even looking at them sometimes. Okay, so yeah, so here we have the Nine of Wands, and this has come out recently as well, and I really feel like this is brotherhood. I really feel like there's support here, and these guys, neither of them look too overly sure. I'm at the moment now, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking they're looking a little bit unsure, and one of them is looking at the other, but you know what, I mean, the rise of the masculine is going to involve some competition, and it's also going to involve throwing caution to the wind. So say if you've got a woman who, like, this is really interesting this is coming up, but say if you've got a woman who, say if you've got a group of people and you've got some people that are in that group, and then, you know, there's a woman of interest, and say, for example, one or two men like this woman, you know, essentially, however that plans out energetically, there will be choices made about the interactions that happen between these people. So what I'm trying to say, this message is not coming out very clear. What I'm trying to say is, you know, there can be friends and there can be competition between friends, and there can also be a lot of care, a lot of healing that happens if you find yourself in a very spiritual group of people. I'm not talking about communes, I'm not talking about religion, I'm actually just talking about normal everyday people who come from all sorts of different backgrounds, all sorts of different cultures. Yeah, and so I feel like the more that these men and women learn how to connect from their heart centers and interact from that heart center out of, you know, no judgment, pure acceptance, pure love. And I don't totally believe in unconditional love when it comes, I mean, I do, but when you're in a relationship, unconditional love doesn't mean you should be around people or be in relationships with people who abuse you or take advantage of you, because that's you allowing them to do that. And if you think unconditional love is putting up with shit, then you're wrong. You don't put up with shit. You tell people when you're not putting up with their shit and what they've done and what you're not happy about. And then if you choose to, you walk away. But you can forgive that person later, or you can choose to continually love them and give them love and send them love, but you don't necessarily need to be in their company. Wow, I'm almost losing my voice. I'm getting laryngitis, I think, or something. Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is the rise of the masculine it's really causing some, not conflict, but some competition. And I really think that's good, because these guys, they're finding connections with women. That are really healthy and really sweet, and you know, really sparing the growth, and the masculines are starting to really respect the women in their life, and they're really starting to open up their eyes, and just fantastic. Wow. So yeah, just as I said that I was drawn to pick up the next card, and then we've got the Hangman. So the Hangman's about pausing, perspective. This image, you know, there's actually a woman who's here. Okay, so while he's been hanging out, waiting to, you know, change his perspective, and by that saying that, I don't mean he's been lazy. Like, literally, he's just hanging there, right? So he's tied up from a log, and it's almost like he's just had to wait until he's had this perspective change, okay? And then this feminine's coming along and giving him a drink of water while he's still hanging upside down. So that's not what I was just talking about, you know. The feminine nurturing the masculine is happening energetically, and the feminines are really concentrating a lot of energy on the masculines. They've got big hearts, and finally it's paying off. And the masculine, you know, the feminine may have walked away from the masculine, but she's physically, but she's still there emotionally, she's still there energetically. And even if she doesn't know it, whatever she does in her life is helping previous partners that have been in her life too. But we all know that there are some connections that are much more special and more defined than others. So take from that what you will. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So we really need to remember that anything is possible. This is what I've been saying. How hard you swing that wheel. There's a million chances. There's literally so many chances, possibilities that we have a chance to experience. And by following that intuition, your own intuition, you're going to stumble across some really beautiful things. And I'm 35 years old. I've just turned 35 recently, and you can't put a number of years on experience. So many people have experienced many things at a younger age. Some of us have gone through a lot of trauma as children, a lot of trauma as teenagers or adults, and some of us haven't. And I find that a lot of those people who've gone through traumas are the ones who are growing at quite a fast rate. The people that I'm coming into contact with. And I've been a hermit for a year, so I haven't met too many new people. And I've been living in Melbourne. There's plenty of chances for me to go out and meet people. I just wasn't inclined. I didn't really want to for quite a while. Coming back out into the world has really opened my eyes up and made me really see that a lot of these things that I've been saying have been true in my readings. And I've had some beautiful confirmation of that through my own experiences. And there's everything at play here. There's a spiritual realm where we literally do have spirit guides. We've got ancestors that are watching over us. There are angels, I do believe. I don't actually research my I don't learn from books or the internet or anything like that. I just see what comes to me. And actually through some of the readings that I've been doing, people's ancestors, and even today someone's ancestor, but who is actually now ascended into being an angel, meaning she doesn't need to keep coming back as a reincarnate. She's actually a guide for people. She's done a lot of hard work so she can stay in the spiritual realm and not have to come back to the planet to keep serving and keep leveling up for other people and helping other people level up themselves. Because when we level up, we need to also look at it as like we need to do it for the people. We need to do it for the people around us, because my energy has really significantly changed in the last few weeks after meeting these new beautiful people, these friends of mine. Simply because I've been allowed to be given the space to be myself. And I hope you don't mind I'm updating you guys, because, it's possible that this is happening. I know people come to these readings to find out what's going on with the masculine, what's going on with the feminine, what's going on with my twin flame. However, anything that I tell you guys, you meant to hear, even if it's about myself. We need to see that leveling up for ourselves, we're also doing it for others, because the more that we raise our frequency, and we do have one, if you don't believe it, go look it up. Go look up the frequency of the heart, go look up the frequency of the brain, go look up the magnetics of those two, research the chakras. We are bodies of energy. There is no doubt about that. And so by interacting with other people, we can balance out those energies and then effectively level up. So like, say if you've got the feminine here and the masculine here, well, she's going like, meow, 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 and then she'll do shit that will activate his shit, and then he'll be like, oh, okay, I'll come meet you. And then she's taking the next step and it's like, okay, I'll come meet you. So, and it changes, it balances out, it goes up and down a little bit like a seesaw, but eventually, ultimately we're always going through the ascension. And here we have the Queen of Swords again. So this is really interesting. This is the After Tarot, and I really feel like, see how on the sword there, I've just been drawn to the butterfly instantly right up the top of the sword. Butterfly is about transformation. I've just been talking about that. Because the feminine is the one that generally needs to walk away from the masculine has got a bit complacent in recent times, as we know that we all can, but the feminine, by putting her foot down, has really made this transformation happen. So props to her and props to the masculine for keeping up, because there are many, I've got friends who have wanted to leave this planet, you know, wanted to end their lives, and I've known that, and you know, I'm glad that we're here helping each other, because we for the sake of humanity and for the sake of this planet and for the sake of our lives and for the sake of ourselves, you know, if we really want to make the most of this lifetime that we have here at the moment, we really need to put our all into it, because we'll never get anywhere if we're not working as a team. And we need to be doing that all the time. So the Queen of Swords really, you know, the feminine really did cut some shit out, cut the masculine out at times, doesn't put up with shit. She's realised, you know, the feminine needs to realise that it doesn't matter what she does, because as long as she's following that intuition that feels right. Impulse is different. Impulse is like, oh yeah, I want this, I want instant gratification. You know, thinking about investment before you actually invest energy in someone else, or even just going with your intuition and doing what feels right. That's what's important. What, not necessarily in what feels right, just what feels good for you. Not getting your rocks off and fucking giving into an addiction, for example. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what feels healthy and spiritually nurturing and emotionally nurturing. If you have an involvement with someone that feels just so fulfilling, and after you've had an experience with someone, you know, you feel so fulfilled, that's what you're looking for. And if you find someone or some people even who make you feel that way, go for it. And I've just been talking about the world, so, you know, the planet, yeah, so, you know, this is, yeah, it's helping everything. All right, so I'm not going to go for too much longer because my throat's about to cut out. So give us a few more minutes, and I can never go past this deck. So let's just see what comes out here. So what do we want to ask? Okay, so the masculine eyes here, why do I feel this way? So masculine, we're going to go into why you feel the way you do sometimes. And I'm getting the way you feel is that you're not good enough. And the reason why you feel that you're not good enough, I think, is because really there's a little bit of a layer out there of that. I feel like the feminine has a lot to do with this, and you've actually got to bear the brunt, because a lot of the time the men have made the woman feel not good enough. It's a pendulum that swings back and forth, and masculine, it's your time to process this feeling. So let's have a look into what you've been feeling. And let's have a look at what you can do about it as well. So let's just see. Oh, okay. So we have the Ten of Cups, and that's absolutely beautiful. You know, this is what you guys, you masculines, you get through this shit, and this is what you look forward to. You look forward to anyway. You will get through this shit. Please know that there is nothing that can stop you from happiness but yourself. You are the only one that can stop yourself from being happy. You know, other people in our lives have control around us until we are an adult. And once we are an adult, we get to process that trauma that we've been through childhood, which all of us have to a degree. And, I just lost my train of thought. So yeah, being an adult, you can cut out anyone you want. You do not need anyone in your... If you want to, you can move across the world, you know, and start a new life. Like, somehow, if you wanted to do that, oh no, I can't. Well, fucking do something that you want to do. Fucking take the lead, man. Take the reins. Ten of Swords. So this card is beautiful. I love this. Ten of Swords, end of a mental cycle, maybe mental anguish, getting into the mastery. And also, you know, all these ravens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, is there 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Of course it's 10. About the mental things, you know, and here I actually feel like she's being guided. So once you master that mind, you will get in touch with your intuition, because we need to get past our brain functioning and programming to get in touch with our intuition. We need to bypass that cognitive bullshit and let our lessons lead us. So let's get a couple more. So yeah, this is advice for you masculines, to know that, you know, happiness is on its way. It's always on its way. As long as you're working towards trying to be happy in the present, then you will find happiness in the future. If we stop focusing on the future and going, I just want to be happy, what do I do to be happy in the future? Instead, focus on the now and focus on that mind and that programming in your mind and those thought patterns, because they are not helpful generally. And then the Tower. So this actually came out reversed, so I'm going to read it reversed this time. So the Tower is about transformation, and I feel like this has already happened. This has already happened. We've already had the collapse. We've already had, you know, and this, I was looking at these cards with my friend the other day, and this little squirrel here, this lightning here, and there's like this little nut here on fire, and I said to my friend, you know, what does a kernel do when it's in the heat, you know? And it says, you know, and more like it turns into popcorn. And this squirrel, you know, after you know, having his little home attacked by lightning, you know, he's going to have something really yummy to snack on. So I think that's really interesting, because it's like, you go through that shit, and there's a lot of butterflies in that card too. So it's like, if you go through that shit, and you will come out the other side. And there's these three just fill out. So yeah, okay. So we've got the 10 of Pentacles. This again is a beautiful card. So we have the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles together. These are the two probably most abundant, beautiful cards that you can have in a deck. It's basically saying materially and emotionally and spiritually, you've got to have everything. You know, the Fool and the Emperor, I feel like these came out upside down. So I feel like, you know, the men are already in that Emperor energy, but then the Fool. So it's a combination of the Emperor energy and the Fool energy. So it's like, I am the emperor of my own life, right? But I'm also prepared to take risks, and I'm just going to surrender. So lose that control. And be mindful that you are in control all the time, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to end with a Whispers of, what is it? I can't think of the decks. If you're interested in knowing any of the decks, just let me know, and I'll put them in the descriptions. But so far, no one's asking. Whispers of Love. It's the Whispers of Love Tarot. Or Oracle, I should say. Okay, so let's just see an overall theme, or what we can look forward to, maybe even, or some confirmation, whatever it is. Let's just see what comes out. Okay, so we have Demonstrate Love. Find out what is important to those you love and act on it. This is what I'm saying, okay? So the masculines need some support from the feminines right now. They really do. And it's a fine line. And, you know, if you're going to put the masculine in the doghouse for a little while, don't make it too long. Abandonment can be one of the things that really breaks someone, especially if they've been through trauma. And abandonment by the person that you love so much, and thinking that they're never going to come back, can literally break someone, and then their whole life can spiral out. And, you know, there can be some delicate situations there. Receive with love and appreciation. Gracious acceptance is a way to show love. So this is really amazing. Demonstrate love and receive with love and appreciation. So I hope you guys can see here. And, you know, receive love. So that's the masculine card for me. And then demonstrate love, that's the feminine card. And you just couldn't get any more accurate and on point than that. I mean, let me just pull out one more. I can show you like one card in here that's different. So look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. So these Whispers of Love tarot cards are not all like, you know, some cards have a lot of, you know, similar messages. Those two cards that came out before were so the polarity of the masculine and the feminine energies and what I've been talking about now. Okay, guys, I just want to get one Monology card because I can't help it, and then we'll call it. Two, it seems. What do you need to release? And you and your loved ones are safe. So, Absolutely. Keep releasing that shit. And just know that as long as, you know, don't accept abuse, don't accept physical abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse. If you feel like someone's energy is attacking you, you need to get onto that. You need to clear your energy. Salt baths, even just showers, nice baths, going for a swim in the ocean, getting in touch with nature, going and playing, sitting on playing in the backyard in bare feet on the grass, getting in the garden, using Palo Santo or incense or sage, whatever it is that you feel drawn to do to make you just, you need to get that energy out. I mean, me personally, I've started doing some fire twirling, but I don't always like the fire stuff. But just doing that and getting physical just makes me feel so relaxed afterwards, and it really feels like it balances out my chakras, and getting into a flow with something physical is beautiful. So all it is a stick, you wave it around, basically you build a relationship with it, and the energetic flow that you can receive from that is wonderful. Okay guys, thank you for being tolerant on my rambling post. I'm sure some people out there will benefit from it, and it's been really nice to come back and do a reading for you. Okay, so I'll see you soon. Bye.